2.5 years ago, I was in a place that was so dark. I genuinely thought that the only way to get better was to kill myself. I was stuck in this thick fog, this cloud of emotion that was just so heavy that no matter what I did, nothing could keep this feeling away. But I tried. I traveled the world, sometimes with family, sometimes with friends, but mostly by myself. I ate at some of the most expensive restaurants I could even get a reservation at. I bought myself everything I've ever wanted: clothes, cars, drugs, jewelry, women. I indulged myself in every way possible. But still that feeling, it was still in the back of my head. I couldn't get rid of it, no matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried. I slowly learned to live with it. I questioned if I was meant to feel this way my entire life, this low. I was 19 and I already thought my life was over. I began to slowly accept that it's just my life now. I figured that if I had no choice but to just be this depressed, I might as well just enjoy it as much as I can. I mean, I had no better option, anyways, right? And as corny as it sounds, I did relate to a lot to the story of Sisyphus. You know, the guy who pushed the rock up the mountain for an eternity. We often believe that peace comes from the restoration of what once was lost. But I always believed, or I mean, I've come to believe that that couldn't be further away from the truth. True peace comes from not making attempts to amend, but in surrendering to reality, surrendering to what your life already is, surrendering to the fact that you don't need to fix anything at all. The sun is out, the birds are chirping. If you can't see that today is a beautiful day, then your problem isn't the world, your problem is how you exist in it. I feel that sometimes we see the world not as it is, but as we are. I've been scared of change for 21 years of my life. I'm 21 now, so I've basically been scared of it my entire life. Um, I grew comfortable in the mundane, in the silence. You know, I knew what my days were like. I was gonna go do this. I was gonna go out. I was gonna eat this. I was gonna talk to this person. I'm gonna go do this with that, whatever. And I always thought that if I knew what was gonna happen, if nothing in my life ever changed, then there was nothing that could ever hurt me because I knew it was coming. I built these gigantic walls around me that was so high that no one could ever take a peek inside. There were no cracks in my walls. But I was stuck in those walls myself. I was stuck in there for so long that I was starting to forget who I really was. I was trying to play a character. It was almost like a theater play, you know? Like I was just acting. Like all my life I was just acting. I didn't want people to see me for who I actually am because I'm ashamed of that guy. And I thought that at my core, who I actually am, you know, the whole who are you when you're not pretending? Who are you when you're alone? That version of me, it never changed even from when I was a little kid. No matter what happened in my life, no matter how many people I lost, that version of me was static. He was always in there. I've hurt so many people because of how scared I was. I've burned down so many friendships, so many relationships. I've done people the dirtiest ways you can imagine. I've treated people like they were nothing but dirt to me, even though they meant the world to me. And I've burnt it all down at the first sight of the sparks because I knew this person has the power to destroy me. So I'm going to destroy them before they can get to me first. If you know me in person and you're seeing this video, you're probably thinking, or you're probably asking, like, why is he doing this? This is so out of care. Why is he doing this? And no, it's not because drugs. No, I didn't have a mental breakdown or something stupid like that. I didn't get my heart broken. I've just, I don't know. I've never told anyone all of this before. I've told a lot of people little fragments, a little here and there, but I don't think they really know or they don't remember all of it, of course. I don't blame them for it, but I feel like there's not really a collection of everything about me. And sometimes, to be honest, I even forget myself. I just feel like so much has happened and there's so much I think and feel about myself that I kind of forget the small details. So this is basically just this is for me to look back and reflect on, I guess. I've been an addict for, I'd say, most of my teenage years. It was Xanax one day, Percocet the other day, hydrocodone, morphine, codeine. It's just basically whatever I could get my hands on. It never really mattered to me. It just, as long as it could distract me from something, is good enough in my eyes. A lot of junkies that I knew back then, they had a reason for becoming a junkie, right? Like, I don't know, they had some childhood trauma or they had some mental health issues or they were coping with something. And I don't want to say that I didn't struggle with anything. I'm going to go more into that later in this video, but that wasn't the reason why I did them. I don't even know why I even started. Ugh. My best friend killed himself 2 years ago. Well, that's actually the interesting part because I still don't know if he did it on purpose or not. We were junkies together. Um, we did it all the time, you know, at the skate park before we skated, or before we went out, or just about before anything. He wasn't so stupid that he would overdose on purpose, but at the same time, I do know it's common. But Louis, his name is Louis. I don't think he would do that. I don't think he would. I don't know. I call him my best friend, but I don't know if I was his best friend. He, he was the kind of guy that would like walk up to you and ask you like, "Oh, how's your family doing?" or "How's your brother doing?" or "How are you doing getting your GED?" or "Have you learned that new trick that you showed me last week?" And you'd be like, "Damn, wow, you remember that?" And he was such a friendly guy. He was so charismatic. I mean, everybody loved him. But he never talked about himself. He had a really, well, calling it sad would be like an understatement. His dad left him when he was a little baby. Like, I don't really know the exact details. Again, he never really talked about himself. But I know he was like an orphan kind of kid. Hey. He was abandoned as a kid, and the mom that adopted him was a junkie, and she never really loved him. I mean, he never really outright talked about it, but it was pretty obvious. I mean, if you're like 17 years old and you're out until like 3 a.m. doing whatever, wherever, and you're like sleeping like on the sidewalk or on the streets or whatever, I mean, it's pretty obvious that, there's something going on at home. He didn't leave anything behind. He didn't leave behind like a letter or a note or any belongings or anything. He died in 2021. That was I think that was around the time. It was around the COVID times, and 2020, 2021, around then. It kind of feels like a daze to me now. I'm having issues trying to remember it, but I know he had a funeral because his mom posted about it on Facebook. But I wasn't allowed to go because my parents didn't let me. And to this day, I still don't know if he was buried or where he was even buried or if he was cremated or I don't even know what happened to him. And it it, it really hurts that someone that you hold so dearly could just leave your life like that. I don't have any photos of him. I mean, I have his Instagram. That's about it. But those pictures aren't him anymore. He had, or he has red hair. He was about, he was a little taller than me, so maybe 5'9", 5'10". He was really skinny. He had really dark under eyes, like little things that looks like makeup. We used to make fun of him for that. Couldn't kickflip for shit. he, he was so ass at skating. He taught me how to skate, and he was so ass. It's like um every year in February. That's when he died. All of our friend groups back then, our old friend group would post like a memorial about him. On their story, there would be like something like "Rest in peace, Louis." Like missing you so much, whatever, with the like his picture, or whatever. No, nobody posted it about him this year, and I know they're not like obligated to. I know they're not like but it just made me so sad. Cause I was thinking, what if, what if I'm the only one left that remembers him? I know his mom doesn't care, doesn't, sorry, doesn't give a shit about him. I'm an artist. Well, calling myself an artist would be like, I don't know, it wouldn't be right. I just like drawing, and I've been trying to draw Louis for a long time, and I'm never happy with it because it never looks like him. It never. And I realized recently, very recently, that I'm starting to forget his face, what he looked like, his voice, what it sounded like. I'm starting to forget who he is. Oh God. You have no idea how soul crushing that is to lose somebody like that, and realize that you're slowly forgetting them. Yeah, that guy did some real damage to me. Even 2 years later, I'm still crying just thinking about him. That was probably the real first big change that happened in my life. He was like an anchor in my life. He was like if you've ever had like a comfort person, then you know what I'm talking about. Like somebody you can just come to and just talk about anything. I mean, I knew this kid since he was since before I even moved to Orange County, so maybe like 8 years, maybe. I lost my anchor. I mean, I was low for a while, but I wasn't alone, you know? He was there with me. And that really made me lose it. That's probably where I got my fear of change from. Because how can I just wake up on a random day and I lost my favorite person like that? Just no, it wasn't like cinematic. It wasn't anything. It was just one day I woke up and he was gone. There was no monologue, you know. No monologue, no dramatic like death scene where he just like falls to the ground. He didn't die for like a noble cause or anything. He died for nothing. I mean, this kid, he came into this world with nothing. No one loved him when he was born. His parents didn't even love him, and he left this world with nothing too. There's no one left. He left nothing behind. If he never existed, this world would have been exactly the same, and that's what hurts the most. Well, I'm gonna move on now because I don't want to keep talking about it. I've been a pretty terrible person the majority of my life. I've hurt a lot of people financially as well. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this part, just for legal reasons, I guess, whatever. But I'm really, really, really greedy. I've been chasing money my ever since I gained consciousness. I mean, it was drilled into me since I was a kid because not because I was Asian, but because my family grew up poor. They grew up in communist Vietnam, so they know the value of money. And they drilled it into me about how important it is to save and invest and all that, but to have a stable income. But I guess I took it in the wrong direction. I valued money way too much. I valued it over everything. And it really corrupted my view of people, too. I worked a lot with a lot of slimy people, you know, people who would betray you for like a couple $100, or people who would sell their soul for $1,000, or people who would lose their dignity just to stay afloat. I worked a lot with these. I don't want to call them rats. They're misguided. But I've been around a lot of them, a lot of them, and it really changed how I view people, and it really affected how much I could trust people. And because like, yeah, you're my friend. Yeah, I can trust you with my life, but if I gave you enough money to retire your parents, you would kill me, wouldn't you? I mean, you would report me to the police if I gave you enough money. I mean, if I give you money, you would do anything, huh? There's no moral in your character. You have no morals. It's only about money. And I guess I kind of became one of those rats that I was talking about. I mean, I would do anything for a quick payout. I would hurt people, not physically, but if it made the difference between me having a couple extra thousand this month and another person laying on the street because they couldn't afford uh, rent this month, then I would take that 10 times over again. If I could fuck up this guy's credit score for his entire life, just so I could, I don't know, have a couple extra zeros in my bank account that I wouldn't even touch, I would do it. And there's probably a lot of people out there who, if they ever found out who I was and what I did to them, they would probably strangle me to death with their bare hands. But yeah, I don't know why I did it. I just, it gave me a sense of power, I guess. I was so insecure that I was just grasping onto anything that made me feel important. I always thought that the importance of somebody in the legacy they leave behind is all physical. Like if you provide enough value, you are deemed valuable. And I guess I lacked everything else. That was the only thing I could grasp onto. And I grasped onto it like I was drowning in the Atlantic. It was the only piece of driftwood that was floating around. My family's been trying to groom me, or not groom me. They've been trying to make me into like the family lead for a long time now, and it's only because the rest of my family is a little weak. I don't want to say weak. I mean the male people, the male family members are a little weak. They don't really lack the heart or the bravado or the voice to like lead the family. It's a little cringe sounding, but I mean you wouldn't really understand unless you knew like Vietnamese family dynamics. But they've been trying to make me into that for a long time, and I've been sort of rebelling against them by becoming the family black sheep. And this part doesn't really make me sad or anything or angry. It's just something I want to mention, that I don't really have like a family like support system. I'm the black sheep for sure, the blackest of them all. My Vietnamese is absolutely terrible, and I barely talk to it. Even when I was a kid, I barely talked to any of my family members just because I was so embarrassed of speaking my Vietnamese. I was the first one to like be all weird. I mean, I painted my nails. I had earrings on my ears. I have a eyebrow piercing. I wear like all these kinds of jewelry, and I was the first one to get a tattoo, and it's just like, I guess I got radicalized by Western society. I guess I'm a radical liberal now. But it's also because of the whole scamming people thing. I haven't seen a lot of my nephews and nieces since they were little kids because their parents don't let me see them because they think I'm a bad influence. And I'm okay with being a bad influence now. I mean, yeah, I definitely am a bad influence, and I don't blame the parents, but when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, and they're drilling into your head how bad of a person you are. Oh, never see my kids again. You're not allowed to go to, you're not allowed to see the family. You're not allowed to go to Thanksgiving or Christmas or anything, whatever. being told all those things when you're just you're still a kid and all you're trying to do is survive, it's a really harsh thing to do. So I didn't really have a family support system. After Louis died, I didn't really have. Well, I mean, I had friends. I had friends from my high school, and like I hung out with my sister's friends, my cousins, and stuff like that. But I kind of isolated myself for a while because I kind of learned that I should never keep my happiness in other people, no matter who it is. Never base your happiness on somebody else. Because I put my happiness in my best friend, and he left me on a random Wednesday on a random afternoon, just like that. The only person you can rely on is yourself. Not your mom, not your dad, not your best friend, not your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever. The only person that should mean anything to you ever should be yourself. And I took pride in that. I mean, I only ever needed myself. I crawled out from the deepest, the most dark, low point of my entire life by myself. I tried to kill myself, and then the next day I got out like it was nothing. I pretended like everything was fine. I didn't tell anyone about it. I didn't ask for help online. I didn't go to therapists. I didn't go to my friends. I just kept it to myself. And I got through it. Look where I am now. I'm 300 miles away from home at a school that or in a city that I've always been dreaming of living in. Studying at a school that I've worked my entire life to get into. I have more money than I could ever even dream of having. I'm in a loving relationship. I love my girlfriend. And I I did it all by myself. But I do think that it's not good being by yourself. Loneliness is not something to be romanticized. You need a support system, and it can't just be you. Loneliness breeds delusion, which breeds evil. There are some specific people that I do want to apologize to. I'm not gonna say their names because I don't know. Maybe they'll see this video or something like that. But I think if I talk about them enough, then they're gonna know who they are. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this. I want to say thank you to all my friends. I love you guys. I would die for you in a heartbeat. I appreciate you guys being there for me. And yeah. I want to say thank you to my family members. I know you guys love me, but I guess it's a cultural divide or something like that. But I do love you guys. I do have a lot of love. It's just hard for me to express it sometimes, and for you as well. And I don't blame you guys for anything. I want to say thank you to my girlfriend. Just thank you for providing like a safe space for me to be soft and vulnerable. This is really new to me and outlandish, and I mean, thank you for showing me what I'm capable of. I like to apologize again to my friends, whoever they may be. I know I'm not the best friend at times. I know that I've said some really evil, um, really far out, messed up, been so sadistic to you guys at times, and I just want to apologize for everything. I'm not even gonna try to make any excuses for it. I hope you guys can forgive me, and I'm still trying really hard to be better, and I hope you guys can believe me. I have power trips a lot. My ego goes out of control, and I say things that I don't really mean, or I say things that are absolutely bizarre and out of this world just for shock value. I'm just an unfunny person that's just looking for some laughs. That's it. Next, I would like to apologize to any woman in my life that I've done wrong. There's a couple I have in mind that if you're watching this, you know who you are. I really objectified women a lot. I really treated them like they were like goods or like currencies or exchange. Like, my view of women was just so twisted. I saw them as something to be conquered rather than something to be nurtured. And I've heard a lot of people, especially when they loved me so unconditionally and they gave me so many things that they never gave to anyone else. And the fact that they were able to be so vulnerable and so open with me and share with me such beautiful things, and for me to squander it and break their trust and you know say all these sadistic things and just tell them about how little they mean to me even though I never meant it, and how I could sort of break their sense of love because I shared my body and my mind with other women. And it's just, yeah, it's something I just have to learn to live with, and I'm very sorry. I've tried to make as many amends as I can, but there's only so much I can do to make up for my sins. And there's a lot of like titles and crosses I have to bear for the rest of my life, like cheater or asshole or manipulator or narcissist or whatever colorful words you can describe me as. But I'm fine with bearing that cross for the rest of my life because I know how evil I was. And I'm fine with that. And I just hope that you've moved on far past me because I'm not worth it. I'd like to apologize lastly to my parents. I know I make you guys worry a lot. And I never meant to. I was never a good son or a good brother or a good cousin or nephew or anything like that, but I don't know, it just seems like I've been dealt the unluckiest hand in the world, and I'm just trying my hardest to survive. And I know I'm not you know, the stereotypical Vietnamese model child that you guys wanted. I'm sorry I couldn't be a lawyer or a doctor or engineer or play the piano well or the violin or speak Vietnamese or anything. It's just, I guess this is who you guys got. What am I doing right now? I bet if a lot of people who knew the old me, they'd probably laugh at this video. Oh, this guy posted an hour-long video of him crying on camera. Like, I don't feel embarrassed from it though. I don't really feel shame or for having these emotions or for talking about it. I actually feel great. I mean, seeing that I'm able to talk about these things so openly makes me feel like maybe I am becoming a little bit better. I don't feel angry anymore. I'm not angry at the world for throwing these things at me. I'm not angry at anyone who's ever walked out of my life or has done me dirty. I don't feel angry at my parents for treating me like I'm some kind of monster. I don't feel angry anymore. I just feel relieved that I got it over with. I'm trying to think of a way to end this video on a happy note because I feel like this video was sort of meant to be like just me talking about some things that I've learned throughout my 21 years of life. But it's slowly morphed into like me venting for a long ass time. And that was never my intention. I just wanted to give, I guess, some younger people or some people who haven't experienced the things that I've experienced a little like breakdown of what you're going to go through. And I'm trying to brace you guys because, you know, the emotions you feel are completely valid and they're completely normal. They're to be expected. I mean, everyone is a human after all. No one's some coldless robot that doesn't feel emotions. And if you are feeling these kind of emotions or anything I've described so far, I mean, you're not alone. I've been through that same path. I've walked the same trail. My footprints are ahead of yours. I've smelled the same flowers. I pissed on the same trees. I've been there. I know how it feels. And you're not alone in this. There's millions of people out there who are going through the same exact thing as you are. And I am walking, living, breathing proof that things do eventually get better. You're gonna close your eyes one day and you're gonna open them, and 4 years have passed since you last thought of it. The things that I've gone through, they've made me into the man I am today. And if those things never were to happen to me, I would not be myself. I would be weak mentally. So in that way, I guess I am grateful for everything that's happened to me in my tragedy of a life, or whatever you can call it. It's not embarrassing to be yourself. It's actually embarrassing not to be. And it's not shameful to embarrass yourself a little bit in the pursuit of real connection. It's okay to be rejected. It's okay for someone to tell you, to call you all the names that you've had nightmares about of being called. It's okay. I mean, things really don't matter all that much. It only matters that you're stable enough to collect yourself and pick yourself up. And if I were to give you guys just one piece of advice, that if you skip through this entire video all the way to the end, and this is the only part of the video that you're watching, if there's one piece of advice I could leave you guys with, it's that it's just to do everything you can. Even if you don't think you'll enjoy it, even if you think you'll hate it, just do it. Your dad is asking you to go to the DMV with him, even though you hate the DMV. You've been there 1,000 times. Just do it. Your friend is asking you to go to a party, and you hate parties, you hate drinking. Just do it for one night. Even if you are at the lowest point of your life, and you're so low that you can't even see the light coming from the top anymore, just enjoy it while you can. Because there will be a point in your life where you will miss it. There will be a point where you struggle to feel anything at all. And that feeling of depression or sadness or whatever emotion you're feeling at that point, it's proof that you're still living and that you still have a heart. Because if you were heartless, you wouldn't even think about it. I'm gonna end this video with a little excerpt from a something I read recently. It's a little story. It's a little thing about grief. I really enjoyed it and it really resonated with me. I don't think the way that we are taught about grief is ever right. You never really fully process it. You kind of just grow around it, and the painful knocking against your rib cage gets less frequent due to the space it occupies. My best friend has been dead for over 4 years now, and every February is a low month, even if I lose track of the time. Your body really keeps score of the grief, even when your mind doesn't. I was on the bus the other day, and this kid, he he turned around and smiled at me, and he looked nothing. He looked nothing like you, but he had your teeth, and I cried. And so I think that processing grief is just allowing yourself the time to.